Everybody, it's Mark Buckles here, and I thought I would talk a little bit about physically how you should present this speech. Now, when you're giving your talk, the 7 to 9 minute talk, right, it's important that your stance is absolutely vertical and that you're open and that you have a kind of medium base, all right? You'll have note cards, and the note cards will have some keywords or key phrases to keep you on track. Now, what I'm thinking is this, right? That this is a stand and deliver speech. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie with Edward James Olmos where he teaches at Garfield High in Los Angeles, teaches calculus. But it's straight up in front of your audience. Stand and deliver. There are no visual aids. There's nothing like that. And that for the most part, you're anchored. You don't crawl around too much. There isn't a whole lot of distracting activity. Now, when people do forensics competition and they present speeches, oftentimes they'll sort of start in the center and then they'll change on the points. And they'll come to a particular part of the audience and talk to the right or come back to the center, talk to the left, return to the center. But the idea is that you want to keep yourself vertical and open, a medium-based stance. Now, you want to use illustrative gestures, right? Go back to our non-verbal communication. Not too much, not too distracting, but we know that certain kinds of gestures will help get the message across. They'll help you physically engage with public speaking. Remember that public speaking is a very physical activity. And the people that have been really great at it, like John Kennedy or Martin Luther King, were very physical speakers. That you got a real sense of their presence and their gesture and the force of personality and physical presence behind their words. So as best you can do with this sort of thing, that's what you should do. Now, a little bit more about this, right? You want to stay about 12 feet away from your audience if that's possible for you. There are no barriers, nothing separating you from your audience. You want to make what eye contact you can with your audience members. What I'm asking for is what the university asks for, that there are certain requirements, and one of the requirements is at least 5 members of an audience. And believe me, we know that that can be challenging. Now, some of you are using church groups, and I'll send out some more information about what's kind of going on if you haven't been communicating with one another too much, so you kind of have a sense of what other people are doing, and that could be helpful. But it's important, right, that you have that audience. It's important that you establish the audience, that there's one take as far as the speech goes, that it's not edited, and that as best you can, you try to create that public space, which is about 12 feet from your audience, okay? Now, just a couple of things, and I'll wrap up. With these index cards, that really is the way this is done. It's kind of college work. There are rules to the game. You don't stand with a manuscript. You don't hide behind a podium. But you have your notes on index cards. And what I'll do is I'll present some more, and I'll send some more information out concerning the notes and all of that sort of thing, okay? The last thing I thought I would talk about are the way that you use references in this kind of a talk. You don't want to make a big deal out of your references, but you want them to be there consistently and clearly. So let's say I'm giving a speech and I say, according to Dr. Walt Lippard, a Detroit psychiatrist and an expert on serial killers. Most serial killers are white males in their early 30s. Let's say that that's the statement. Well, according to Dr. Walt Lippard, is what's known as a signal phrase. You're telling us who the source is, a Detroit psychiatrist. You're giving us a little information as to who that person is, why they might be credible. You could possibly talk about the year of the study. That might be good. But the idea is that what's really important are the ideas, more than the sources. But you want to keep touch with those sources. And you do want them to be frequent and consistent. You want to mention them when you need to mention them. When you're going into material that has a source, it's appropriate to state that source, you do want to do that. But remember, even though some of the ideas will not be your ideas, the moment that you speak those ideas, they become your own. It's one of those things that happens with human beings. Just the way an actor or an actress will be speaking the lines of a dramatist, the minute that you begin to speak those words, they become your own. But just as in any kind of research, any kind of APA document, it really is important that you let us know where the information is coming from. So I think that's enough for right now. What I'd like you to remember about this is, here I am, standing and delivering, no barrier, talking directly to you, using some illustrative gestures, trying to make what eye contact I can. I wish you good luck. And again, what you want to do is you want to ask me questions about this. All right,